Hello guys, so in this video, welcome back to the video. In this video we'll be learning conditional statements using if, else, elif in bash scripting, and we'll learn to make smart decisions in script using script. We're writing 4 scripts, and before this we saw how to pass a user input and then save it in a variable. Like we saw real-time use cases, right? Before that we used variables, and we understood what variables and how do we use it in our script. And before that, first video was on why bash bin bash and what will happen if I don't use bin bash. So this is the old structure which you are following, and this video we are learning about conditional statements. We'll be writing four real-time scripts wherein we'll be incorporating if, else, elif in our scripts and try to understand more about if, else, and elif, like how to use it and how to use it in real time. So let's dive into the video. Let's write script to check if the user is root or Ubuntu. If it is root or Ubuntu, it should proceed, or else it should say error. Logged in as You should either log in as root or Ubuntu to run the script. Let's write the script. Check user dot sh. Let's give the interpreter. Without interpreter also it will work, but it's a good practice to give interpreter. Let's create a variable to find the user. Once user is found, so this is the command to use to find the user. Then we have to create if else and if elif block, if elif else block to check if the user is root or Ubuntu. If let's check if block. There should be a space after the bracket. Equal to if it is root. Close the bracket, semicolon, then echo you are logged in as root, proceeding. Elif current user Ubuntu, then we have to have space before the closing of the bracket also. Echo you are logged in as Ubuntu, proceeding. Else block we will write else echo error. You must be either root or Ubuntu to this script. Can't proceed. Then we're exiting the code uh, with exit code 1 and closing the if loop, if condition using F5. Exit 1 means, exit status 1, it typically means error or failure in the script or Linux scripting. And prevents the script from running if the user is unauthorized. Using exit 1 to prevent all those things. Bash check user. Okay, you're logged in as root. Okay, it is running fine. So let's get into Ubuntu and try to check. Don't have script in Ubuntu, right? So, but how do we check that? Let's create the script here. Let's try to run the script. Okay, logged in as Ubuntu, proceeding. Okay. Our script is working fine. So let's create a user and try to check if the error also works or not. User add, we can use user add um, team, user add laptop, add user, John. Let's create a password for John, 𝐽𝐿. Let's try to log in as John. Try to run that script again. Yeah, so it is printing out the error also now. So okay, so our script is working fine. This is one of the script which I have written. Three more to go. Let's write the other one also, where we will check if the which we will give the number, and then we'll try to check if the number is positive or negative, and if it is not negative or not positive, the output should come as 0. Let's check the number. Yeah, let's check the let's check. So let's check the number. So let's create a file called as check the number. Check number .sh. mm, Echo, enter a number. We're giving read to take the input from the user number. If $number, be careful to add gap after bracket. So it is important, or else script will fail. Be careful to add gap. Echo positive number. Elif number lt less than 0. Then echo negative number. Else echo 0. Close the if condition using F5. Yeah, so we are asking the number from user, and we are checking if the number is greater than 0, then print positive number. If the number is less than 0, then print negative number. If the number is anywhere between, like, we cannot give anywhere between 0 to between positive or negative, right? So we can give any of the word, and then let's see if this is getting printed. Yeah, let's see. Let's run the script. 23 positive number. Let's give negative number. 98 negative number. Let's give any of the word. uh, so it will give out an error that it is not an integer, so it will print out else block, like 0 it will print out. That's all, that's what we wanted, right? So yeah, so this script you can use it in real time also, like in real time also for if else conditions. But the before script which you can use for real time also, like if you want a particular user to log in to the server and run the script, so we can use the above script, first script to check if the user is root or ubuntu or any of the user. Then only he should run the script, or else he should not run the script. So we can have this condition placed at the top of the script to check if the user is ubuntu or john or root. Then we can give the particular permission to john or ubuntu or root to run the script. This is the first script which is real time, which we can use it in our real time script. Second script is completed, and third script is, let's write third script. For third script, let's this real time use case which we use generally in our company, like to check if the 𝐶𝐽 file is existing in the folder cube. So let's try to write a script to check if the q.cube folder is there, and if q.cube folder is there, then if 𝐶𝐽 file is there in that folder, and what is the permissions 𝐶𝐽 file has. We can check that by using a script. So let's write the script. Check 𝐶𝐽config file. for that, so again let's start with interpreter. One of the use case which we use in our company, like we try to find 𝐶𝐽 folder, and then we try to find config file in that folder and try to see what's the permission the file has and what permission we can give. So we can have the script for that. So we can write a script for that. Let's write read hyphen hyphen p. We use it for a prompt from a user for input file. So we are prompting a user to provide an input. So let's try to write the script, and then I'll explain. Save it into a variable called as folder. Read hyphen p, enter the file name, save it into a folder variable called as file. Then we have to combine folder and file path. Full path we can give Once this is done, let's check if the folder exists. If let's use if condition for that. For checking the folder exists, we can do hyphen d. I can use hyphen d. There are many other things which we can use, like a hyphen f. You can use for file. So hyphen z also we can use, and hyphen e also we can use. So you can probably do a research on that, and then you can probably use some other type of this. We're checking if the folder is exist. If it is exist, then it will give exist. And then under if we have to write if loop again. If hyphen f for checking the file, full path, then echo the file exists inside the folder. We have to get the permissions, like what permission it has. Like we get permissions using a variable called as permissions. We can create a variable permissions. Put the complete command into a variable ls -l. How do we get permissions? We get permission by using ls-l. So full path. You can filter it by using awk. And first 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 row will be filtering it by using awk $1. We're putting everything into a variable called as permissions. Once this is done, so let's check if if the file is readable or not. If for checking the readable or not, we have to use -r. Full path. Then echo the file is readable. And what are the permissions? Like we can show the permissions also. Permissions using the same name, right? So if you're using the same name, then that's okay. That would work. Else echo the file is not readable. Permissions have to close the if loop of file. Once this is done, let's check if it is executable. The file is we check if the file is readable now. So we check if the file is executable. For that we need to write another loop. If for executable you have to use -x. Then echo the file is else echo the file is not executable. Permissions We can suggest also to make it executable. You can give the suggestions also. For that we can write echo suggestion and the following command to make it executable. Echo the command chmod -x close the if condition. If so if like now let's write else also. Else echo the file does not exist in the folder. F5 close, we have closed the for loop, if loop. F5 else echo the folder does not exist. Close the if loop using F5. Once this is done, let's close it. I'll explain the code. Close this, yeah. So now let's explain that code. Like first line we are defining the interpreter, and then we are creating a variable, and we are taking input from user to give the folder name and file name, and then we are writing if loop, if conditions to check if the folder exists. Then we are writing if condition to check if the file exists. We are checking the permission. For checking the permission, we are giving full path, and then we are filtering it from the first column by using awk print $1. After that, we are checking if the file is if the file is readable. It will give true if it will give current user as readable if -r is true. Else it will give file is not readable permissions, and it will show the permissions. Then we are checking if the file is executable, and if the file is executable, it will show as file is executable permissions. It will show the permissions. And then we are also suggesting to run the following following command to give executable permission to that user, to that, sorry, to that script, sorry, to that file. We are giving that file, to that file we are giving it, we are suggesting one command to give executable permission to that file. So this is the command we are suggesting. And then this else block is for to check, it will immediately, exit if the folder file is not existing. And this will immediately exit if the folder doesn't exist. It will immediately, like at the first attempt also, it will exit. Let's check. That folder is not there, but let's see. Path cube config file is not there in cube folder is not there. So it will exist at the first attempt itself. So I've given else block there, right? So it will exist. It will exit at the first attempt also. It will not run execute. It will not run all those commands, like if the file executable or readable or not. It will not run all those script. It will directly exit if the folder is not existing. Let's create a folder inside dot cube, inside root dot cube folder. Inside dot cube folder. No, let's try to check if, yeah, we don't have anything, right? So let's try to run the script and try to see if that works. It will say folder exists but file doesn't exist. So that's how the script is made. So let's try to create a file also in cube folder. File also is there now. Let's run the script now. Folder cube file config. You should print out what is the permission it has, and it should suggest me, like, to make it executable, what should I do? Yeah, so file exists and folder exists, and file exists, and the config is readable. Permission is this, and this is not executable. So what should I do to make it executable? To run this command. So let's run this command. Made it executable. Now let's run the script again. Dot cube config. Yeah, now the config is executable, right? The file is executable. Config file inside the folder, and yeah, it is executable. So now this is what I wanted to achieve. Like, it should print out config file is there or not, and it should give out, like, this is the permission, this is what you have to do to make it executable. And I made it executable. Now it is executable. Before that it was not executable, right? So it was not executable. That's all I wanted to cover in this script. So you understood the script, I guess. I've written a detailed blog on this, so you can read blog as well. In blog I've given command by command explanation. You'll get in-depth understanding of each and every command in the blog. And let's go to script 4. For script 4, like, what we want to do, we want to check the CPU of the server, and try to see if it is if it is more than 40, then it is unhealthy, and if it is less than 40, then it is healthy. Let's try to write a script for that. So let's try to check. check CPU system cpu.sh. To get CPU, you have to create a variable. In that, you have to pass a command. So for creating a variable, you can use CPU usage, and in that variable, you have to pass a command. For getting the CPU, you can get top bn1. Explain the complete script once I write it. This command would give you the CPU. So top command is to display system information, and B is for batch mode, suitable for scripting. So and N1 is for run the command once. N is for running the command only once. So B is for batch mode, and I want to filter column 2 and column 4. You represent the user and call $2 and $4. It represents the percentage usage percentage. System CPU percentage. It represent the user CPU percentage, and this represents the system user percentage. And I'm adding both, right? So I'm adding both system user and system CPU usage percentage, both, running it together. I'm running this entire command and putting it into a variable. So once this is done, so let's echo current CPU in percentage. I am creating in a percentage. So I'm adding percentage to make it into percentage, displaying it into percentage. So let's try to add if condition. If echo CPU usage lesser than 40, is -L. Then we are using double brackets, like we are using single bracket till then, but now we are using double bracket. Double bracket, we're using it for arithmetic comparison, like in our case floating point comparison, right? This floating number, so bat doesn't handle it natively, so bat doesn't compare decimal number directly. And BC is your basic calculator, which we are using it here. So what BC is doing is, when this command runs, this command is sent to bc-l, and this L is load math library. It will return one or zero. One is true and 0 is false, and then this wraps up the result. This complete wraps up the result. It gives 0 or 1. 0 means false and 1 is true. That's all. So we'll proceed with the script again. Echo CPU usage. CPU usage is lesser than 40. We already wrote, right? So CPU usage is low, system is healthy. Elif echo $CPU usage greater than or equal to 40. Send it to bc-l, then close the brackets and run another command. Echo then echo CPU usage is moderate. Monitor the server. Else echo high CPU usage detected. Consider looking into running processes. Right, running mind of the process. We can run processes rather than server. if I close the if condition, F5, cat. Oh, yeah. So we are checking the CPU and we are passing it into a variable. This complete command we are passing into a variable, and then we are checking, we are echoing the current usage of current CPU usage, and this percentage it is we are giving just for understanding, yeah. And then we are using if loop to check if the system is like CPU usage is low and below 40, and if it is 40 then it is below 40 or 40, then system is healthy. Then we are also using elif to check if the to check to check if the CPU is greater than 40 and less than 75, then CPU usage is moderate, and we have to monitor the servers, monitor the process. And if it is more than 75, then high CPU usage is detected. Consider looking into running processes. Then we are close the if loop. Check the script if it is running fine or not. Yeah, so it is running fine. So if current CPU usage is 5.8 and CPU usage is low and system is healthy. If it would have been more, then it would have given. If it would have been more than 40, then it would have given CPU usage moderate, and we have to monitor the processes. And if it is more than 75, it would have given high CPU usages detected. Consider investigating running processes. So that's all we understood the conditions, right? If conditions, if else conditions which we have used till now. Four scripts we have written. So these are the four scripts. I'll add it in the Git repo. I'll give the Git repo in the description. You can find it there. And also I'll add the blog. Like I'm writing a blog, and I'll write a detailed blog explaining each and every command. You'll find that blog in the description as well. Yeah. Thank you for thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.